Number 10, Penn State. Big noon Saturday. Starts with the pregame crew live from Ann Arbor. 10 a.m. Eastern, Burssard. And then it's Penn State, Michigan, Saturday, noon on Fox.
Indiana covered like I promised you they would. I'll give you my pick on this game Thursday.
Oh, I like that.
With the Wolverines, wow.
I know.
You know that.
I'm going Micah Parsons.
I gave him a lot of money.
Start off with the weird. Okay. So
Wild, you said you were going to support him.
I'm trying to support Ben Simmons, but if John Wall's first pitch was a basketball shot, this is what it would be. Bro, this is, I don't know, this got worse.
That is, I mean, I get when everybody throws a shot up like that, but I don't think and I'm not a professional basketball player, of course. I've never just missed that badly. Come on.
Yeah, stop it.
No, random people don't miss like that, Greg.
Greg,
Come on.
Wild said he would do better with a 50-pound man.
I'm glad Kyrie and Durant didn't see.
They didn't see me too. I was wondering.
They didn't see it.
Oh, Katie
Durant kind of saw it.
So if
like,
You
oh,
notice
he does
Durant
this
stopped
now,
smiling, now he's frowning
now
like, yo,
this lets me know why he wouldn't pull the trigger. I wouldn't shoot either.
think? Moving on to the wonderful. Oh, it gets worse. This is equally gross. Sixers, Cavs. Donovan Mitchell not in a Knicks jersey with a big dunk. Ugh. Sixers win this one. 3-0 in the preseason. Something or nothing.
No.
Oh.
I mean, I think the Sixers are going to be very good, but preseason, we know the rules for preseason. If LeBron scores 23.5, it matters. Nothing else matters.
0 for 7, doesn't it?
Weird.
Exactly.
Confusion at the beginning of the Nuggets-Suns game. Take a listen.
Center from Texas A&M, number 6, DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Jordan.
You know what? Ayton had 19, Jordan had 7. Moving on to the wonderful free agent check-in. It's Melo. Over at Chris Brickley's gym. I see. We run this. We should get a weird.
I was going to say, do you have like a piece
I don't know.
of this gym? Wilds gives Chris Brickley's run more credit than anyone in the world.
I like it.
Melo
Brew,
hot, though.
who should sign Melo?
Golden State.
Oh,
I'm serious. Like, it has to be somewhere you don't expect much. Whatever he gives you is gravy. And everybody goes to Golden State, and you get the best out of it.
We should cancel the show. That was a slap.
Nobody else, there's nowhere else for him to
Melo
go.
can throw a punch.
And he, there you
Protect
go.
yourself all the time when you're up in the bay, man.
I bet Dre don't step to
Back
Melo
to
like
Suns
that.
Nuggets. Bridges with the steal in the alley. You know, it's preseason. You got to work
Who
with
is he
this.
throwing it to?
Wow. Denver wins. That's a weird and wonderful from the national pastime.
God.
Hey, we're talking about analytics. Josh McDaniels' decision-making last night. Latest tear at the seams of the fabric holding the sports world together. On one side, analytics, McDaniels, Staley, Harbaugh, Nick Wright. On the other side, people who want to win games. Here's Bill Simmons on the state of analytics. Greg, you'll like this.
Great tweet.
In 2022, an NFL head coach would jump out a fourth floor window because analytics say it's faster than taking the stairs.
Drive me crazy.
That is a great tweet.
You guys are going to drive me nuts.
Oh, okay. Get your calculator.
No, it's not the calculator. Can I just tell you guys something?
Go ahead.
Do you know what all of you folks that just use analytics as a boogeyman when things go wrong? You sound like the NBA commentators a decade ago. Can't win threes or can't win a championship with all those jump shooters. Oh, I could never do it.
No,
That's exactly what you sound like. Now, first of all, let me just set some things straight. The 2-point conversion call that Josh McDaniels went for yesterday was against the majority of the analytical models. That was not an analytics decision. That was his own gut. The ESPN's model had it as a go.
Had it as a go.
They had it, had it as
That's
a
a
go.
pretty good
The
model.
Football Outsiders model had it as a no. And the Shield Kapadia's model, whichever one he uses, I listened to it this morning, they had it as a strong no. But what happens when we're watching football games is guys that don't totally understand analytics, any call that strikes them as abnormal, they're like, oh, hey, analytics. Meanwhile, and here's what's the most frustrating part about it. The analytics boogeyman only shows up when it fails. It never shows up when it's good. What's
When
the
is
most
it good?
Oh, I don't know, Drew. Who's the most surprising good team this year? Tell me. The team that's 4-1 that no one could have seen it coming.
Oh, the Giants.
The Giants.
The Giants. You saw wild sauce.
I know.
Did they have a moment
Yeah.
That was exactly
That
like
was
this
aggressive.
one that set the tone
No, that
for
was
their
just an
season.
aggressive football play.
What about the Raiders in this very game when in the first quarter on their own 40, they went for a 4th down and they got a 60-yard touchdown? But I'm guessing, Brew, tell me, you didn't mind that one. That one was okay. You know why it was? Because it worked.
Yep.
Yes, and so
That was a good call.
That was there you go. Of course, that's what. So this is what you know. What we need in the booth, just like we have Mike Pereira in the booth. We need a guy they can go to whenever they press the this isn't what Mike Ditka would have done button.
Oh, here we go.
And bring in someone to tell them, is it actually analytics?
That'd be great.
Well,
And what
That'd
the
be great.
analytics
That'd be
are
great
arguing.
TV.
Okay.
That'd be great TV.
Here's where I take issue with what you said, Nick.
Yeah, tell me.
Because analytics, this is a huge part of analytics.
Tell
This
me.
is essentially
Teach
what
me.
it is in a nutshell.
Sure.
Of all the options that we could take on any given play or down, it gives us the percentages of which one is most likely to work, right?
That's what
what analytics.
To lead to a win. Not work, lead to a win.
Well, that's working. All right, it's semantics, tomato, right?
Not
All right, so that is what analytics is, and a lot of these decisions that are being made were not made before that type of thinking came into being. All right, back in the day before you had all these numbers and you got a 32% chance of winning if you do this, you got a 28% chance of winning if you do this, guys went with their gut. And my point is this, last night, that was a horrible call by Josh McDaniels to go for 2 with 4.5 minutes left.
which is why it was.
But
it was
he
not
did
a
it.
clear
But hold on,
analytics
the
decision.
maybe it depends on which analytics they follow.
Yes.
Because the ESPN analytics said they should have done exactly what
Yes.
Josh McDaniels
They-
did.
Yes, they did, and others
It was
didn't.
terrible.
Which is
and 10 years ago, Nick, he wouldn't have even thought about
no,
that.
10 years ago they'd have been losing the game the whole time because they wouldn't have gone for that 4th down.
No.
Yeah.
There were times Belichick went for it on 4th down a lot.
That's true. We
Back in the day.
Yeah, the greatest
did it
coach
once.
ever was ahead of the curve.
But it wasn't just based on
I'm not anti-analytics. I think for me, the issue that I have is it takes into the account of the probability and the possibility of success, but it doesn't consider the cost of failure.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not consider
I don't
the
think
cost
people
of
know what they're talking about. Yes, it does.
How does it consider the cost of failure?
Because it works in. Here is your percentage. If it was a pure analytical play, the 2-point conversion again was a coin flip at best. It works in. If you succeed, here's your chance of winning. If you fail, here's your chance of winning. And what are your chances of succeeding? So if you fail, what's your chance of winning? Like for the Raiders, let's say it was an analytical decision to go for 2, which it was not. Well, let's say it was. Built into it is even if you fail, well, maybe the Chiefs will be a little less aggressive with the ball since they're winning, and you'll get the ball back, which is exactly what happened. But
analytics, see, what you just said was a human element. All right, analytics does not
You're
take
wrong.
into it. No, I'm not. Analytics does not take into account the human
Yes,
element.
of course
it
it
may
does.
try, but life is not just one big beaker and one big
Yeah,
science
nobody-
test.
but nobody-
okay,
that's not what they're
it
doing.
doesn't know which guy is cold-blooded and which guy will rise to the occasion when the pressure's on, or which guy will choke. He might
But
be
neither
the
do the
best player.
coaches.
He might be your best player, but he's not cold-blooded and he's going to
Yeah.
choke because
Sure.
the moment's too
Yes,
big.
of course.
Analytics don't consider that.
Yeah, but you're acting like coaches can see the future. That they're like, well, I know, but he's my best player, but in this moment he's going to coach. Of course there is an unknown factor. Of course there is, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, but go ahead.
No, for me, when you look at this situation with Josh McDaniels and going for 2, analytics or not, I can understand that. I can get behind it. As a player who's been in the locker room, I can support it. When you look at what Brandon Staley is doing,
Come on.
when you see the tweet that Keenan Allen is tweeting away from the game,
Yep.
this is why analytics become problematic. Because you have issues within the locker room brewing without being spoken.
Oh, this brought them closer together.
No,
though,
it didn't.
supposedly.
Forget bringing that. That's what analytics say. This does not. It causes problems because now all of a sudden, initially, this is a receiver who was on the field who would have been on the field to go for it. But when you start getting offensive players that are saying, you know what, it's not working when we actually do it, it's costing us more games and putting our defense in bad positions. You have to start taking in consideration of what your players are saying. Skip analytics.
I think
Right.
So here's I'll give you a fan perspective though that I think was interesting. All the sports are using analytics, right? Baseball, with the shift and the switching out the pitchers and it hurt with strikeouts. Basketball, now it's just threes and layups there.
Yeah.
Hurt. Football,
It's made it better.
It's made it
Because
better.
people get
it's
more
made it more
aggressive.
interesting.
Throw
It's
more-
it's more debatable. So even though I dislike it, my dislike is actually rooted in the drama of it.
First of all, when it comes to the Chargers, it should be noted, and while I actually didn't like that call, for the record, because I thought in that game it was so clear the Browns were not moving the football the way they needed to. I agree with you there. The previous week against Houston on the exact same spot of the field with a lead in the fourth quarter, they went for a 4th and 2 and it won them the game, and it didn't make any of the shows because we only talk about it when it fails.
Yep.
We only talk about it when it fails. But it has a branding issue. The issue with analytics, which is just making decisions based on historical evidence, which seems to be a way we live a lot of our life, it's just the aggressive decision. Analytics leans aggressive and historical coaching leans conservative. It's even in the language. They're like, oh, you got to take the points, as opposed to, how about we try to get more points? Instead of taking 3, how about we try to go get 7? So, but the verbiage and the nostalgia tells us that the conservative coach to delay losing rather than making decisions to win right now is the right way to go. And I am putting a flag in the sand right now. People are going to look back on these conversations the way people look back on, you got to win your NBA titles through your big men in the post and say, oh my God, those folks are crazy. It is absolutely the way the league.
Have Anthony Davis shooting threes then. How's that?
2 years ago today.